Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today because today I'm going to do something that's very unique. I think you'll enjoy it. Let's start out and have them run all the colors across the screen that you will need to paint along with us. While they're doing that, let me show you what I've got going up here today. Today I've taken our regular old canvas, pre-stretched double prime canvas, and I've painted it with black gesso. I've allowed the black gesso to dry completely, and then I've covered the entire canvas with a very thin coat of liquid clear. Little amount. It doesn't take much. Then I put a little bit of Prussian blue over it. Today I want to show you how to make an exciting effect on the canvas, and then I'll change and put up a canvas that's already done, and we'll continue on and paint a happy little painting. So let's do that. As I say, I've got this covered with liquid clear and a little bit of Prussian blue. I want a blue hue to this. I'm going to dip my brush into paint thinner. I'm going to go into a little bit of brown. This is just a little bit of dark sienna, little brown, little blue. But notice how thin the paint is. Now, paint thinner has a violent reaction with liquid clear, and we're depending on that to create some gorgeous effects. Okay, let's go up in here. As I say, this is very thin, and once it hits this liquid clear, gorgeous things will happen. And we'll just do something about like that. It'll continue to work, sometimes maybe 15, 20 minutes. That's why we're going to change canvases, so it has time to work and dry. But I want to show you how it's made. But by just taking this brush and doing something like so, get nervous. You can make some of the most gorgeous effects you've ever seen. That easy. There, see, just let these colors play and dance, and maybe they come around. You can make big old things that look like wood with big knots in them. It's up to you. You decide what kind of design you want. There. Take a little white here and there, but it must be very thin, have a lot of paint thinner, so that all these gorgeous little things will happen for you automatically. See them? Look at that. Already, they're beginning to work. As I say, the paint thinner and liquid clear will have a violent reaction, and you can turn the brush to make effects. Just let it dance around on the canvas. And if you don't like one, you can come back and go over it and change it, because as you know, this piece of canvas is your world, and you can do anything that you want to do here. There we are. Something about like it. The blue underneath is being picked up, and it will create a blue hue to the whole painting. There. And as I say, you can go back and forth and add color anywhere that you want it, and just change this continually. There. But that's basically all there is to it. You can just take paint thinner and go back over this just with plain paint thinner, and it'll really cause it to separate. Experiment a little bit when you're at home, and you'll find many different ways of doing this, and use a multitude of colors. Don't just use the colors that we use here on TV. Use any color that your heart desires. There. But see how that's beginning to create all those beautiful illusions? Now then, as I mentioned, I want to change canvases and put one up that's already dry. And to do that, let me just reach up here. Excuse me just a second. Reach right up here. Take this one off. And I have one here that's already been done. And I've put a little bit of contact paper around it, just leaving a section open. And I'll show you how you can take this and make a gorgeous painting that's very simple and very easy. Anybody can do it. All right. Now once again, this is dry. I've allowed it to dry, and you might want to lay it flat while it's drying, depending on how much thinner you put on the canvas when you're producing the effect. All right. Now let's start off, and we're going to cover all of this with just liquid white, just like we would on a regular painting. Just cover it. Normally I have this done when we come on the air, but I wanted you to see this from start to finish so you can make your own masterpiece at home. There, just a very thin little coat of liquid white, just enough to sort of cover it up. About like that. That's all we're looking for. There. That's all there is to putting liquid white on a canvas. Okay, now we get to wash the brush. And if you've painted with me before, you know that's my most favorite thing on here, is washing the old brush. Actually, it's my way of getting even with the crew for picking on me. All right, shake off the excess. and just beat the devil out of it. And you can cover everything in about a 10-foot radius if you're not careful. Okay, let's go into a little bit of alizarin crimson, just a small amount on the 2-inch brush. The painting I'm going to do today let's just do a very simple little painting, easy little painting, because it's really the background that I want you to practice with and try and fall in love with, because it is so much fun. I'm going to put a little alizarin crimson right there, like that. We'll go right into the Prussian blue. Same old brush. The Prussian blue is so much stronger than the crimson. You can do that without washing the brush. Go back up in here. And we'll just start with our little crisscrosses, little X's, something about like that. There. Okay, I'll tell you what. Maybe we'll have a little water in this one. You know me, I love water. So maybe we'll put just a tiny bit down here at the bottom. There we are. About like that. And with that, we can turn this in, I think, to a very nice little painting. Let's wash the old brush again. I just want an excuse to wash the brush. There. All right. Fantastic. We got it. Now then, shoot, we'll just use that same brush. It's working pretty good. I'm going to go right into titanium white. Just tap it very firmly. Tap it right into some titanium. And we'll go up in here. And maybe in our world, there lives, yep, you're right, a happy little cloud that just floats around here and has a good time all day. About like that. It's the easiest way I've ever found just to make a little cloud. Just tap it. Now I've got several 2-inch brushes going. Let me get a clean one here so I can just gently blend this very lightly. 3 hairs and some air. Just enough to blend it like that. I want another cloud in our world. And he's going to live right down here. Do one cloud at a time, though. Don't get greedy. I know it starts working and you say, well, I'm just going to put in a whole colony of clouds. Do one at a time. There. Like that. We'll just let it float on the way. Clean brush. And once again, just sort of blend it a little bit. Just enough to bring it together. Like that. But isn't that a simple way of making some very effective little clouds? It works, and you can do it. You can do it. Yeah, all right. Now, I get to wash the brush one more time. One more time. All right. We wash our brushes with odorless paint thinner. Kick the bucket there. Okay. Now then, let's do a happy little mountain. We use some black, Prussian blue, Van Dyke brown, and alizarin crimson. We just mix them together. That's black, blue, crimson, Van Dyke. All right. Then we'll cut off a little roll of paint. See, it lives right out there on the edge of the knife. Let's go up in here. Got to make a decision. In our world, the mountain lives right there. Right there. There it comes. Just a little mountain. He's got a little bump right there. Something like so. It doesn't matter. Mountains are so fantastic to paint, and it'll teach you to use the knife. And if you can use this knife, make friends with it, shoot, you can do entire paintings with nothing but the knife. 2-inch brush. We're going to grab that and pull it. Just pull it. Blend that color down. Because the canvas is wet, you can do that. It has a liquid white underneath. You can move color. It'll just slide right on there. If you were working on a dry canvas, we'd be in Agony City about now. But because it's wet, we can literally move that paint. We'll use some titanium white. We'll put a little touch of midnight black in it. Just to gray it a little bit. Maybe even at least a little touch of bright red. There. But don't overmix it. I want to leave it marbled. Once again, our little roll of paint lives right out there on the edge of the knife. Let's go up in here. And now we come in here. No pressure. No pressure at all. Just barely graze the canvas. Just let the knife float. Let it float. Just let it slide right down the canvas. Maybe over there. Yep, a little bit of light striking right over in there. You decide. That's what's so fantastic about painting. You make the big decisions. You can create any kind of illusion that you want. I'm using a little Prussian blue and white. Mix it together. And we'll make a little shadow color for a mountain. Blue and white. It's good enough for what we're doing. As I say, we're just going to do a very simple little painting. Little roll of paint. Simple painting. It probably won't be any challenge at all for you. But I want to show you this background. When you do your painting, you can make it much more complicated. Here, we have limited time and a director with no sense of humor. So we'll just do something simple. All right. Maybe we will put a little doodle right there just to break up that shape some. Then go back, pull a little shadow in there. Shoot, that easy. We got a little mountain. Little mountain that lives right there on our canvas. Nice, clean, dry 2-inch brush. It really needs to be dry now because you'll destroy your paint if it's not dry. Then blend upward. We're taking out the tap marks, sort of bringing everything together when we do that. Always following the angles that are in your mountain. Most important. See? There. Maybe we just bring it on down a little bit further. There, see? Like that. That's all there is to it. Give it a little upward lift. Shoot, we're in business. That gives us a little mountain that looks like it's far away. We're not too worried about it today. Let's take, what do we use? Let's take Prussian blue, some midnight black. Now I'm going to take titanium white. I want to make several different values of this. Going to make some little foothills that live way back in the distance, some little trees that are growing far, far away. So we'll put some white in there. About like that. Okay, let me clean off the old knife. Let's grab us, we'll use a number 6 fan brush today. Blue and black, a little white, load a lot of color into the brush. And let's go right up in here and maybe, yeah, some little evergreens. Maybe those are evergreens. I don't know what they are. Whatever they are, they live far away. You decide what they are in your world. You want it just dark enough so that it stands out from the background. That's all you're looking for. As light as you can get it, and it still make it stand out from the background. I think we'll put several layers. So be sure this is as light as you can get it, so we can get progressively darker as we move forward. Clean, dry 2-inch brush, a little mist down here at the base. Just tapping. I'll add at least a little bit of titanium white to that. I want to be a little more misty. Then lift upward, just enough to take out the tap mark, sort of bring everything together. There. As I say, we can put several little layers in here. Maybe there's another layer. Yeah, it is right there. There he is. You decide. Painting offers freedom. On this canvas, you can move mountains. You can do anything on this canvas. Maybe I'll have a little reflection right there, so we just pull it down. Grab our old 2-inch brush again, pull straight down, go across. Shoot, we got instant reflections. Take a little liquid white. I'm gonna put a little liquid white out here, pull it out very flat, like so, flat as I can get it, then cut across. See, so there's a little bit of paint right up on top of the knife. Then we can go back in here and figure out little water lines that live in here. There they come. There. Just a little indication. That's all we're looking for. Something about like that. There. All right. Now we can just continually move forward. Make it a little darker, same color, just darker. I'm just taking a little of the dark, going right into the light with it. So each layer is just a little bit darker. This one, bravery test. Maybe comes all the way up here. All the way up there. There we go. I want to push those mountains so far back that they look like they're way back in the distance somewhere. Just hiding back here, having a good time. There we are. There they come. Maybe they come right on down. We don't know. Maybe down in here somewhere, push up, give it a little upward lift. All right. See how easy those little distant trees are to make? And you can make layer after layer after layer. It'll make your painting look very deep. Very deep. Have depth in it. A lot of depth. We take some of that same color. Let's pull it down. Make us a little reflection right there. Go across. Back to our liquid white. Guess we better get some on the knife. There. Like so. And we'll just put in another little water line that lives like there. Now maybe, I'll tell you what, let's have one more. Just one more. Go into a much darker color now. It's almost the pure color. Got a little white in it, but almost the pure dark we made. And with that, see how that stands out? Each layer, though, needs to get progressively darker as it comes towards you. That's what gives a landscape depth and distance. It's most important. It can be your best friend. There. Some little duders live out there. Once again, let's have a reflection. I like reflections so much. So much. And reflections are one of the nicest, easiest things to do in this technique. Now, as a traditional painter, it used to drive me crazy, but in here, you see how easy they are to do. All right, take a little more of the liquid white. We just put the indication of a little water line there and have something like so. All right. But doesn't that create a lot of depth in there? That easy. That easy. Now then, tell you what, I want to pull the contact paper off and show you what we have. Show you that gorgeous background that we made and how well it works. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? It makes a beautiful little painting when you do that. But you know me. You know me. Shoot, I got to get a little crazier. Let's take a little bit of black with some Van Dyke brown, a little dark sand. We'll just mix them all together on the brush here. It will give you a real bravery test. I like big trees. If you've painted with me before, you know I do like big old trees. And here comes one. Maybe it comes off here and back down. I don't know, wherever you want it to go. Boy, there is a big tree. Goes all the way off the canvas. Monster tree. That's kind that'll chase you across the yard if you're not good. Yeah, there we are. Big old tree. Strong tree. Okay. Something like so. But look at this background. Isn't that fantastic what it looks like? It's one of the neatest things that we've come up with. As I say, I've mentioned it earlier in this show, try it in a multitude of colors. You just can't believe what you can make. My partner Annette Kowalski is going to do some flowers on backgrounds like this. She paints gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. Well, you might have saw her in the last series. A little roll of paint, black and white. I can't wait to see flowers on this. I'm just going to touch, just put a little highlight on this rascal. About like that. Something about like that. And we'll just put the indication of highlight. We don't want to go into too much detail. Just to show you how it's done. Then set you loose on the whole world. Because once you learn this, you experience freedom. Canvas and paint, oh, what you can do with it. You can create any illusion that you want. Just literally any illusion. A little pure black on the outer side here, and we'll just sort of bring them together a little bit. I want that tree to be very strong looking, tough old tree. There we are. Just a big old tough tree. And we'll take our script liner brush, paint thinner. And we'll get quite a bit of paint thinner here. Put it right in the black, right in the black. Make this paint very thin, almost like ink again. Very thin. Now let's go up in here and let's put some limbs, some arms on our tree. See there? Now if you have trouble making that flow, all you need to do is add a little more paint thinner to your paint. There. Big old rascal, he just lives out here and has a good time. And when you're at home and have unlimited time, you can just put details, details, details in this. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. There, wherever. Okay, something about like that. And we just let them go. Let them go. Some over in here. But I like paintings that have borders and then you break the borders. There. Since we've introduced the use of contact paper in painting, I think it's almost become a standard. I see artists all over the country doing that now. It just opens so many doors to the imagination. And that's what art's all about, is imagination. There. All right. We need something for that tree to sit on. He's just sort of hanging out there in air, which is all right, but we'll put some on. We'll use some brown, blue, black, a little sap green in there too. A little bit of color on the brush, and let's go up in here. And we need to put, as I say, some ground here. Maybe there's a little bush lives right there. Just happy little bush. Maybe there's a couple of them. I don't know, wherever you want them. Something about like that, though. There. Take that same brush, dip it into a little bit of paint thinner to thin it, go right into the yellow, and we have instant green. A little yellow ochre. I'll hit some Indian yellow once in a while, and ever so often a little bit of bright red. There. And for that, let's just start making an indication of some happy little bushes that live down here. These are outside of the little rectangle that we made there. There. Maybe some nice little grassy areas. See them? There they come. There they come. Wherever you want them. It's where they should be. There. Something about like that. All right. Take the knife. We take a little Van Dyke dark sienna. Maybe put the indication of a small amount of soil, dirt, down in here. A little brown and white. Touch it. About like that. Come back. I'm dipping a brush into a small amount of paint thinner once again, just to make the paint a little bit thinner so it'll stick on top of here without any problem. As you know, a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. There we are. See there? Something about like that. Isn't that fantastic? You can do a little painting that quick. All right. I'm going to get crazy. Got a minute left. Van Dyke brown, dark sienna mixed together. You ready? Right here. Maybe it's what remains of a piece of an old fence that used to live out here. But it's about gone. It's about gone. It's like me. It's had a hard, tough old life. Tired old fence. Maybe there's one more little post right there. Something like so. And a little rail still left there. And maybe even one there. I don't know. It's up to you. Dark sienna, a little white. To make a light brown. Just touch. Let some of that just show a little bit. A little highlight here and there. A little on this one. And that little baby one there. Take a little red. Put a little red on top. Just a little sparkler. Shoot, I think we got a finished painting. Gonna call that one done. We'll take a little paint thinner, a little bit of the bright red. Let's sign this little rascal. We'll sign him right down in here. About like that. All right. Hope you've enjoyed this one. And once again, give this a try. There's so many, many different things that you can do with this basic idea of a black canvas and liquid clear. Until next time, from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless, my friend.